Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Don Day with your Public Lands Council weekly weather update for this April 27th, 2024. It's being brought to you by Ag Risk Advisors and WSR Insurance Services Incorporated. Here we are with another week and another period of cooler wet weather for the West with areas of rain, snow, and thunder across a lot of the region, and it's going to be pretty cool as well, as temperatures will drop enough that areas of snow will develop all the way down to 6,000 to 7,000 feet across parts of the central and northern Rockies this weekend, with mainly a cold rain and some thunderstorm activity out on into the plains. As we segue into next week, we're going to go into a mild, somewhat windy pattern across the Intermountain West. Some occasional showers and thunderstorms will develop, especially mid to late week, but a kind of a typical late April pattern of brisk winds but mild temperature readings. As we go into May, the first weekend of May, that's when the next batch of unsettled weather returns with showers and thunderstorms and cooler weather. As it seems that we're in a pattern where about every 5 to 6 days we have a west coast trough come across the west, and that will be the case as we go into the first weekend of May. Over the last week, precipitation has not been too extensive. Over the last 7 days, it's been pretty spotty. The heavier moisture along some parts of the Front Range of Colorado, northwest Kansas, but a lot of the northern plains, central and northern Rockies, and certainly in the southwestern United States, pretty dry. Temperatures a bit below average across a lot of the nation, east of the Rockies, warmest here in the southwestern United States, but overall, kind of a cool period over the last 7 days in many areas. Snowfall is getting a little bit less widespread, especially in the lower elevations. As you'll see here in a moment, though, we're going to see some pretty significant spring snows in the central and northern Rockies as we head into this upcoming weekend. And this is why. We've got a low that will start the weekend right over southwest Colorado. This will produce showers, thunderstorms, and cool, wet weather, especially in this area right here, with some severe weather across the plain states of the Midwest with lots of severe thunderstorms and the threat of tornado activity. That'll be Saturday, this will be Sunday, so the whole weekend is going to be cool and wet across the central, northern, and western areas of the U.S., warmest with some high pressure here along the East Coast. By early next week, a strong zonal flow, meaning winds aloft from the west to the east, this will bring Pacific air in to a lot of the nation. Now, Pacific air means mild, but not too warm, and notice the gradient here. All of these black solid lines stacked up mean strong jet stream winds will be moving west to east across the Rockies. So there's going to be some breezy periods developing, especially along and east of the divide, especially early to the middle parts of next week. But you can see all these low pressure systems stacked up from the North Pacific across Canada through the Gulf of Alaska here. This will keep little frontal systems coming through along with those strong gusty winds, and that will occasionally bring shower activity, occasionally some thunderstorms. Then by next weekend, kind of a repeat. High pressure builds along the west coast, low pressure develops in the Great Basin and the northern plains, and again, by next weekend we start to cool off and the rain chances and high mountain snow chances will return. Very much a typical late April, early May weather pattern. And over the next 7 days, you can see the wetness across the Dakotas, Nebraska, and across parts of the central and northern Rockies. We will get some showers, some thunderstorms into parts of the Great Basin in the Four Corners region. We're still concerned about this area right here in southern and southwest Kansas and the Panhandle region, where those winter wheat areas could really use some spring moisture. But at least for another week or so, the better precipitation chances are going to stay here in the northern areas than across the Midwest, and still quite wet for the Corn Belt region. Snowfall, the northern plains, Minnesota, the Dakotas getting some late season snow, and the high Rockies as well, but most snow will fall above 6,000 and 7,000 feet. Temperature-wise, the next week ahead, close to average temperatures, if not slightly below, from the northern plains to the Pacific Northwest, warmest in the central and eastern parts of the U.S. Our next update will be the first Saturday of May, May the 4th. Have yourself a good week ahead.